But the stock which is on our radar is State Bank of India. It's recovered nearly 2.5% from the day's low. Siddharth Purohit of Angel Broking joins in now. Siddharth, initially there was a knee-jerk, a little bit of a negative reaction because the street feared a lot of higher costs on account of the amalgamation, integration of the employee costs. But now it's seen a bit of a recovery. Your reaction on what a merger with associate banks means for SBI?
This merger has come after a long waiting period. We had been waiting this for many years. But I would see it in two different ways. If you look at the positive side, the merged entity becomes much bigger in terms of size, and they get access. The SBI gets access to all the branches of the associate banks, and roughly 4 lakh crores of additional loan comes into book. But there are goods and bad part also. I'll just tell you that size actually doesn't matter in terms of profitability. So when the balance sheet size grows up, that doesn't mean that return ratios will improve drastically. But one good part is that post consolidation or the merger, the operating cost of the merged entity can be reduced. As the chairman also had hinted that the lot of operations which are run independently for 6 different entities can be combined in single unit. So there will be merger benefit in the long run, but in the near term we have seen earlier also that possibly the benefit comes over a longer period of time. So we don't see any benefit coming in the near term, but it's a very good move for the long term, I would say.
Okay, so a positive move for the long term. Siddharth, during the last integration when State Bank of Indore was integrated in FY11, the loss of amalgamation was almost 900 crores. Have you done any analysis of what the loss could be this time because of higher employee costs with the integration of the 5 banks?
See, we have not done that kind of analysis, but clearly yesterday, as the chairman also said, that there will be an incremental employee cost up to the tune of 23 crores per month. So that doesn't look very big, but there could be some one-off items which we need to really find out. But one good part I would say is that the operating cost of the associate banks are also almost at similar levels. But the only negative part what I believe is that in terms of asset quality, the associate banks are on a little lower side compared to State Bank on a standalone basis. And also for the capital adequacy front, if you see, most of the associate banks have a little lower capital adequacy compared to State Bank alone. So their console numbers may not look that great once it is merged, but the operating efficiency should come over a period of time.
Siddharth, what is your take on the timing of the proposed merger? Because there are a few who believe that it would have been perhaps better if State Bank of India had first rectified its asset quality issues and then gone ahead and merged it. Because right now, if you're going to do merger and improving your balance sheet, it is going to divert the management attention. Your take on that?
Yeah, it is to a large extent I believe so, that when the entire industry is going through trouble and SBI itself has a lot of stress asset on book, maybe they could have tried to rectify it. But I think that if the same asset quality persists for other banks, maybe once the consolidation is done within a year's time, then the console entity, the merged entity, can look forward for bigger growth. So I believe that as such, this coming year is going to be tough for the entire banking industry and SBI itself. So by the time they integrate and maybe FY18 onwards, they can look forward for better growth. So there is, it has happened not at the right time, but consolidation is the need of the hour. So I believe that it gives a good indication for further consolidation of the entire banking industry, including other PSU banks. So not a really very negative point, I would say.
Okay, I guess that's why the stock is holding up as well, because it is a long-term positive. Thanks, Siddharth, for joining us. But moving on, we have a big guest now, CNBC TV 18's Anuj Singhal.